It's June 15th, 2024, and the San Juan Mountains of Colorado are alive with the hum of summer. Towering peaks cast long shadows over rugged trails, where wildflowers bloom against a backdrop of jagged cliffs. Ethan Caldwell, a 32-year-old mountain biker from Denver, pedals hard up a steep single-track near Telluride, his dark blonde hair tied in a messy bun, a few electric blue strands catching the sunlight. He's on a solo ride, something he calls a survival ride, a grueling test of endurance in the wilderness. His black cycling jersey clings to his athletic frame, his hazel eyes scanning the trail with laser focus. Ethan's not just a biker. He's a graphic designer, known for his vibrant murals that dot Denver's streets. But out here, he's chasing something deeper. Clarity, he called it, in a cryptic note left on his kitchen counter. By 4 p.m., he's supposed to text his girlfriend, Mia Harper, to check in, but the message never comes. Hours pass, then days, and Ethan vanishes without a trace. No bike, no gear, nothing. The San Juan Mountains, a sprawling 12,000 square miles of untamed wilderness, swallow him whole. Search teams comb the trails, helicopters buzz overhead, but it's as if the mountains themselves are hiding him. 5 months later, in November 2024, a hiker stumbles upon a hidden campsite deep in the forest, with Ethan's belongings scattered around a fire pit. A journal reveals his inner struggles, but something else is there too. Evidence he wasn't alone. What they find next changes everything, exposing a dark secret in the heart of the mountains. Who or what crossed Ethan's path that day, and why did it take 5 months to uncover the truth? Stay with us, because this mystery will leave you questioning everything. Let's step back to the summer of 2024, when Colorado's San Juan Mountains were a playground for adventurers, but also a place where nature could turn deadly in an instant. The San Juans stretch across 12,000 square miles, a maze of peaks, valleys, and trails that draw hikers, climbers, and bikers from across the country. But they're also unforgiving. Sudden storms, steep cliffs, and predators like mountain lions make it a place where even the experienced can get into trouble. Ethan Caldwell knew the risks. At 32, he was no stranger to these mountains, having biked their trails since he moved to Denver 5 years ago. A graphic designer by trade, Ethan's murals brought color to the city, but his true passion was out here, where he could push himself to the edge. His friends called him fearless. His girlfriend, Mia Harper, called him reckless. Mia, 28, with auburn hair in a high ponytail and a silver streak on the right side, had begged him to take a friend on his survival rides. But Ethan always went alone, saying he needed the solitude to think. On June 15th, he left his Denver apartment at dawn, driving 3 hours to a trailhead near Telluride called Silver Lake. His plan was a 30-mile loop, a challenging ride with 3,000 feet of elevation gain, but nothing he hadn't done before. He packed light, water, energy bars, a small tent, and his journal, a habit from his art school days. His note on the counter read, "Gone to the San Juans for clarity. Back tonight. Love, E." Mia found the note when she got home from work, but by 6 p.m. there was no word from Ethan. She called his best friend Lucas Bennett, a 33-year-old outdoor guide with black hair shaved on the sides and a streak of red dye across the top, who knew Ethan's habits better than anyone. Lucas tried to calm her, saying Ethan often lost track of time, but by midnight, panic set in. They called the San Juan County Sheriff's Office, and a search was launched at dawn. What made Ethan take such risks, and why did he need clarity in the mountains? Ethan's disappearance hit hard, especially for Mia Harper and Lucas Bennett, who became the heart of the search effort. Mia, a barista with soft green eyes and a freckled nose, had been with Ethan for 3 years, drawn to his adventurous spirit, but always worried about his solo rides. She clutched the silver pendant necklace Ethan gave her, pacing their apartment as she called every friend who might know his plans. Lucas, Ethan's best friend since college, was a rugged outdoor guide who joined Ethan on countless adventures, though he'd skipped this one to lead a climbing group. Lucas's deep brown eyes were filled with guilt as he organized search and parties, his red-streaked hair a stark contrast to his flannel shirt and cargo pants. Ethan had always been a risk-taker ever since they met at art school in Boulder. Back then, Ethan was the guy who'd bike 50 miles just to sketch a sunrise, his messy bun with electric blue strands a constant in every memory. But in the last year, something had shifted. Ethan started talking about needing clarity, spending more time alone, and pushing his survival rides to new extremes. He'd ride 60 miles through remote trails, gaining thousands of feet of elevation, often with no cell service, testing his limits in what he called a reset. Mia found a journal entry from a month earlier that read, "I feel like I'm losing myself in the city. The mountains are the only place I can breathe." Lucas remembered Ethan mentioning a new trail near Silver Lake. One he'd heard was tough but beautiful, with views of the San Juan's highest peaks. The cryptic note about clarity gnawed at them. Was Ethan struggling with something deeper, or was this just another ride gone wrong? As days turned to weeks, the search grew desperate, but the mountains held their secrets tight. What was Ethan running from, and what did he hope to find? The San Juan County Sheriff's Office threw everything they had into finding Ethan Caldwell, but the mountains were a daunting adversary. Sheriff Aaron Mitchell, a 45-year-old veteran with a weathered face and a no-nonsense demeanor, led the effort, coordinating over 200 volunteers, drones and helicopters across 70,000 acres of wilderness. The Silver Lake trailhead, where Ethan's car was found, became ground zero, his blue Jeep still parked with a half-empty coffee cup in the console. Search teams fanned out, covering trails, ridges and valleys, but the San Juan's terrain was brutal. Steep cliffs, dense forests, and sudden weather changes made every step treacherous. Ethan's white mountain bike, with black tires that blended into the landscape, was a needle in a haystack. Experts like David Jones, a search and rescue specialist, noted that even experienced bikers could vanish in such vast areas, especially if they went off trail. Theories swirled. Had Ethan crashed into a ravine, been attacked by a mountain lion, or gotten lost in a storm? Some whispered about foul play. There were rumors of illegal hunters in the area, and a local hermit named Caleb Morrow, a 55-year-old recluse with a criminal past, had been spotted near the trails. A Caleb with sunken grey eyes, tangled greying hair tied with a leather cord, and a tattered brown coat, was a ghost in the community, living off the grid for decades. But with no evidence, the theories remained just that, guesses in the dark. After a month, the official search scaled back, leaving Mia and Lucas to keep hope alive. Why was Ethan so hard to find, and what secrets did the mountains hold? 5 months passed with no sign of Ethan Caldwell, the mystery deepening with every dead end. By November 2024, the San Juan Mountains were blanketed in early snow, the trails quiet as winter set in. Mia and Lucas had organized weekly searches, their hope fading, but their resolve unshaken. On November 12th, a hiker named Sarah Jennings, a 40-year-old photographer exploring off-trail near Lizard Head Pass, stumbled upon a hidden campsite 2 miles from the main trail. Tucked under a dense canopy of pines, the site was nearly invisible. A small fire pit, a torn tent, and Ethan's hydration backpack. Its neon green accents faded but unmistakable. Nearby was his journal, its pages weathered but legible, and his white mountain bike wedged under a fallen log, as if hidden. Sarah called the sheriff, and within hours the site was swarming with investigators. Ethan's journal entries painted a picture of a man unraveling. He wrote about feeling lost in his life, struggling with anxiety and seeking peace in the mountains. One entry, dated June 15th, read, I need to face my fears out here. The silence is louder than I expected, but the final entry, written in a shaky hand, sent chills through the team. I'm not alone. Someone's watching me. Scattered around the campsite were signs of a struggle. Broken branches, a torn piece of Ethan's cycling jersey, and a single boot print that didn't match Ethan's size. Who had been with Ethan, and why had this campsite stayed hidden for so long? The discovery of Ethan's campsite opened a new chapter in the investigation, one that pointed to a local hermit named Caleb Morrow. Ethan's journal hinted at a shadowy figure watching him, and the boot print at the site matched a pair of muddy boots, later found in Caleb's remote cabin 10 miles from the campsite. Caleb, 55, with a gaunt face, sunken grey eyes and a crooked scar across his chin, had lived in the San Juans for 20 years, a recluse with a history of violence. In 2003, he'd been arrested for assault in Durango, released after 5 years, and then disappeared into the mountains, living off the grid. Locals whispered about him, saying he'd been seen trapping game and scavenging near trails, but he kept to himself, until now. Sheriff Mitchell brought Caleb in for questioning, his tangled hair and tattered coat making him look like a man who'd stepped out of another era. Caleb's story was shaky. He claimed he'd never seen Ethan, but his cabin held troubling clues. A map with the Silver Lake Trail marked, a knife with traces of blood, and a photo of Ethan's bike, taken from a distance. The blood on the knife was sent for DNA testing, and while results were pending, investigators dug into Caleb's past, uncovering a pattern of aggression toward outsiders. Was Caleb just a loner, or had he crossed paths with Ethan in a way that ended in tragedy? The evidence was mounting, but the truth was still out of reach. What had Caleb done? And where was Ethan now? The investigation into Caleb Morrow took a dark turn, revealing a truth that shattered the narrative of Ethan Caldwell's disappearance. On November 20th, 2024, a week after the campsite discovery, the DNA results came back. The blood on Caleb's knife matched Ethan's. Under intense questioning, Caleb broke, confessing to a chilling encounter. He'd been tracking Ethan that day in June, angered by what he saw as an intrusion on his territory. When Ethan set up camp, Caleb confronted him, and a fight broke out. In a rage, Caleb struck Ethan with a rock, ending his life, then hid the body in a shallow grave 3 miles from the campsite, hoping the mountains would keep his secret. Sheriff Mitchell's team found the grave, confirming Ethan's remains, his cycling jersey still clinging to his frame. But the discovery raised more questions. Caleb's confession didn't explain Ethan's journal entry about seeking clarity, or why he'd felt watched for days. Digging deeper, investigators learned Caleb had a history of stalking hikers, driven by paranoia from his years of isolation. Locals came forward with stories of Caleb's erratic behavior, painting a picture of a man unhinged by solitude, his cabin a trove of items stolen from unsuspecting campers. The revelation changed everything. Ethan's disappearance wasn't a tragic accident, but a deliberate act by a man the community had ignored for too long. The San Juans, once a place of adventure, became a symbol of hidden dangers, forcing the town to confront the shadows in their midst. How had Caleb gone unnoticed for so long, and what did this mean for others who'd vanished in the mountains? Ethan Caldwell's story didn't end with his disappearance. It ended with a truth that shook the San Juan community to its core. The discovery of his fate, 5 months after he vanished, exposed not just Caleb Morrow's actions, but the dangers lurking in the wilderness and the secrets a small town can keep. Mia Harper and Lucas Bennett, though heartbroken, found closure, channeling their grief into a foundation to support mental health awareness for outdoor enthusiasts. Inspired by Ethan's journal, the San Juan Mountains remain a place of beauty, but Ethan's story serves as a haunting reminder. Nature can be as unforgiving as the people who hide within it. Today, A small mural of Ethan's bike, painted by local artists, adorns a wall near the Silver Lake trailhead, a tribute to his love for the mountains and a warning to others. The case prompted new safety measures, like better trail signage and a community watch program to monitor recluses like Caleb. Ethan's legacy lives on in every biker who rides with a little more caution, and in every story that reminds us to look out for each other. This story hits hard, doesn't it? What do you think? Are there other dangers in the mountains we're overlooking? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if this mystery gripped you, and share to spread Ethan's story. Subscribe for more true crime deep dives, and check out our playlist for stories like 6 Priests Vanished in 1989 to keep the suspense going. Let's honor Ethan by staying safe out there.